A very good evening to all of you online. I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for giving me this good chance to share with you about this, the essence of the infinite meanings. Today, I'm going to share about the fifth and the sixth merits. All right, so let's go on. The fifth merit is inconceivable. Let's listen to the song first.
一无功德难思议，世诵书写可不理，刹那恒知常相依，众生幸福的欢喜。
虽为远离凡夫事，又能实现大菩提。譬如龙子生其日，岂能行云雨降雨。
Okay, the fifth merit is inconceivable. Actually, this is through our aspiration. In the book on page 432, it says, if we can uphold, recite, transcribe, and never deviate from this sutra, we can extend our present resolve forever. Always remain in accord with the sutra and lead sentient beings to joyfully believe and accept the teachings. In fact, when we uphold or recite or transcribe, actually, through that, to me, I feel is an imprint into our eighth consciousness. So you can see that actually in former times, people in the ancient time, because they do not have such kind of extensive access to printing process like what we have now. So the main method of transmitting the Buddha Dharma was through lectures. So to prevent people from forgetting what they have heard, everyone was encouraged to recite and transcribe the Dharma. In fact, even today, I think we should also be able to do that so that we could memorize and learn by heart what the Buddha Dharma is teaching us. On the other hand, actually, this also helped them to commit the teaching to the memory, which should benefit them. So that means it's both benefiting ourselves and benefiting to others. On the other hand, this also helps spread the teachings, which would benefit others. Okay. So you can see that although sutras taught us to uphold, recite, transcribe, and never deviate from the sutra, but Master Cheng Yen acknowledged us that the best way is to put Dharma into action. Okay. Because when we put Dharma into action, we would remember it even better. As what people often say, if you teach me, I may forget. But if you guide me to do it, I will always remember. Because through practice, I think it has already imprinted into our eighth consciousness. So the Buddha attained enlightenment around 2,500 years ago. Then taught revealing the universal truth about existence and offering guidance on how we could all awaken our Buddha nature and achieve liberation from the inherent suffering in life. And this is the Four Noble Truths. Whereas Master Cheng Yen continues this noble path of teaching that of the Buddha Dharma and skillfully revealing how this ancient wisdom is relevant today as ever. That we can all still put into practice. Okay, in fact, worldwide, I'm sure you and I, we are aware that wherever we go, we are putting Dharma into action. So we are really practicing the Dharma, right? Okay, then Master Cheng Yen further elaborated, because in the page 433, Master Cheng Yen said, my teacher, that means Dharma Master In Sun, encouraged me to work for Buddhism and for sentient beings. Although the time it took him to speak these 6 words was only a few seconds, but Master Cheng Yen have tried to practice them for her entire life. So you see, this sentence spoken in an instant was not just a lesson to learn on for a single day, but a mission that must continue for hundreds of kalpas, which means it's for life after life, because after you can see how long is one kalpa. So this is the brief encounter of Master Cheng Yen with Dharma Master Ying Sun. But whereas, although it's a brief encounter, but it is a lifetime of work, because Master Ying Sun gave Master Cheng Yen just these words: to serve, to work, to contribute, to spread Buddhism, and to serve all sentient beings. So let's see what Master Cheng Yen says.
说的也只有6个字，时间呢也差不多是秒钟就过去了。可是那个时候就是把握在当下，这一辈子呢已经到现在。在现在呢，我还要说，一股无量数的力量在后头不断的推动，这都是呢，在那一秒钟、那一刹那、那一个念头，就这样准准的把握住。所以这一辈子啦，就是跟这6个字呢是脱不了关系呀。你跟我呢，也同样呢，跟这6个字呢，也脱不了关系哈。所以这叫做法脉相传。我传自于我的师父，你们传自于师父，同样叫做从师父传下来，这都叫做法脉。一个念头就是一辈子，你们也跟定了师父，这一辈子就是你我的一辈子呢，我们可以影响了千秋百世，这都是因缘不可思议啊。
Okay, you can see that Master Ying Sun is a guide and mentor to humanity. So because Master Cheng Yen was searching for the meaning and purpose of life, so that brought Master Cheng Yen to Buddhism. So as a master, Venerable Ying Sun gave her directions on the Buddhist path. Then you see Master Ying Sun's simple instruction to Master Cheng Yen: devote to spread Buddhism and to serve living beings. This has been the spirit by which our Master Cheng Yen lives each moment of her life. So the late Reverend Master Ying Sun requested Master Cheng Yen to dedicate for Buddhism and for living beings. Whereas Master Cheng Yen guided all of us, Jingsi disciple, to emulate Buddha's compassion and to uphold Master's aspiration, so we can pass on the Dharma lineage incessantly. Aspiring that the tenet of this, what they call as the three-dimensional concentric circle organization, would reach out to the whole world like the water ripples that diffuse from one drop of water to accomplish the mission of living out the Buddha's teaching and serving as living Bodhisattva. So that is how Master Cheng Yen guide all Jingsi disciples to spread out and spread across the whole world. Although this everlasting mission cannot be completed in just one day, actually it's for life after life, but as long as everyone share the same inspiration and continues to kindling the light of wisdom in others, Buddha Dharma will then be passed on endlessly. So this is what is mentioned in page 433, that this is what is meant by extend one day into 100 kalpas and shorten 100 kalpas into one day. Actually, to this, then only we can understand how it is called. Because very often we heard in the sutra that mention kalpas, but sometimes it's hard for us to imagine how long is one kalpa. But in page 434, this is what it is explained. How long is one kalpa? There are decreasing kalpas, increasing kalpas, and increasing and decreasing kalpas. So during decreasing kalpas, the average human lifespan decreases 1 year every century, from 84,000 years down to 10 years. Then during increasing kalpas, the average human lifespan increases 1 year every century, starting from 10 years, 10 years old and increasing to 84,000 years. One decreasing kalpa and one increasing kalpas comprises of one small kalpa. So can you imagine, it's for life after life. So in fact, although it's hard to understand that, but now we can understand through Master Cheng Yen's teaching that extending 1 day into 100 kalpas and shortening 100 kalpas into 1 day actually refers to how a single deviant thought can cause us to create an entire lifespan of either negative karma, or also it can bring together the wholesome thoughts of countless people to help us quickly accomplish the mission of saving the world. So can you imagine, actually from this, the mind effect, I'm sure we all know from Master Cheng Yen about the mind effect. Actually, this is the resonance of goodness. One thought gives rise to myriad action, and one action produces many fruits. So although we have not yet distanced ourselves from worldly matters, because we are still lay people, lay practitioners, we will still be able to demonstrate the great Buddhist path, right? Even though we are only ordinary beings in this turbulent material world, because we have encountered the Buddha Dharma, so we are able to learn from that, and our potential for goodness and our latent abilities will continue to be brought up, okay? So in fact, you can see that we are like a newborn dragon prince. Although it's only 7 days old, but we can already gather clouds and bring down the rain. Actually, in Tzu Chi, we can see that these children, I'm sure that would reflect life comes, no life after life. So you can see many of these children, they are able, you see, to learn from the senior volunteers, and they are also practicing the living Bodhisattva's path. All right, you can see from here, this boy is only 5 years old.
太顶礼完之后呢，问询问完之后，投钱投完钱之后，就去吃早餐。吃完早餐我就去做环保。
感恩哦，你压岁钱啊，感恩你哦。他已经在自己的心田里啦，播种了这么多的善力量、善种子，成为习惯。所以从上一辈子来到这一辈子，这就是今因。现在那观因那是过去呢，他所造的培植的善因的好缘来到这个地方，它发挥了现在的良能。
Okay, I think that explains actually life comes after life. As what Master Cheng Yen elaborated, that in his former lifetime, he must have cultivated such good seeds, so that he has brought over here. So that's why no doubt at such a young age, he's still able to do good deeds. Okay, now we come to the 6 merits. The 6 merits is inconceivable.
有功德不思议，生死烦恼尽远离，能断一切苦与乐，与佛如来无差异。虽未得诸不动地，未能断佛能舍离。一如王子虽知晓，能力过世好俊良。
Okay, the 6 merits is inconceivable because through the 6 merits, actually, we are learning the Buddha Dharma through our practice. All right, it enables us to be free of the afflictions of birth and death. We can end all suffering and disaster, no difference from the Buddha and the Tathagata, because Buddha has told us since 2,500 years ago that everyone has the latent Buddha nature. Though we cannot yet abide at the ground of stillness, We have the vision, the wisdom to eliminate delusions and grasp the truth. We are like the prince. Huh? Though we are still young, but we can manage the affairs of state and lead the officials. Actually, over here means that although we are just beginners, beginners in learning Buddhism, but if we are able to put into practice, actually we can also learn to be like that. So you can see here that birth and death are part of the natural course of life. But people in the world worry because they do not know why they are born, why they die, where they were before they were born, and where they will go to after they die. So do you know how long is our lifespan? Let's hear what Master Cheng is going to tell us.
咱人生啊，到底是有偌久的时间啊？定定都甲大家人讲，咱的人间若是50年，是四天王天的一天，吼，也若是人间的100天，是土地天的一天啦，吼！各位菩萨，人生的时间就是这么短啊，也嘛有比咱人生更较短的时间。哎呀，世界都亲像水星，伊呢一年啦，才有88天哦。也咱地球一年几天？咱地球是365天，吼，那水星啊，它才是88天啊。所以讲起来，咱人生若讲短，也阁有其他的世界比咱更较短，吼。也若讲长呢，吼，其他天堂的世界啊，伊的时间好比咱长多咯，吼。所以咱伫人间，佛陀呢就讲，人生世间苦短，咱不只是世间的寿命苦短啦，那也阁有无常偏多吼。这个无常啊，就是真多。生命长短，咱无法度家己来把握。今仔日的平安啊，唔知明仔载的代志。也若干那讲，今仔日的平安，唔知明仔载的代志，也阁伤长。有一回啊，佛陀甲地主呢，安尼斗阵的时，忽然间佛陀啊，就问地主讲：生命有偌长，恁知无？有人回答的呢，是1日间。生命，常常听到佛陀讲生命苦短，生命真短啦，也嘛真无常啊。所以呢，伊就回答佛陀讲：生命伫1日间。佛陀同意吗？摇摇头啊。再问，有人知啊？唔知？有人搁再回答偌久啊？换时间就有人回答就讲：啊，若是一天还阁伤长啦，安尼是毋是短甲食一顿饭的时间呢？佛陀同意吗？也阁无同意。那到底阁有虾米人知啊？生命偌长？对啦，佛陀同意啦。是啊， 生命就是伫呼吸间，这种短暂的生命。
Yeah, since we know that life is so short, now it's just within one breath. So that's why every time when we recite this, the Tzu Chi resolution, we would read about this, right? To know what you did in your previous lives, look at what you receive in this life. To know what will happen to you in the future life, look at what you are doing now, right, in this lifetime. Okay, so if we are able to completely realize the principle of the karmic law of cause and effect, we will understand how precious life is, right? Regardless of the circumstances we face, we will know how to make good use, fully utilize our time, and diligently engage in spiritual cultivation. So that's the reason why Master Cheng Yen always advised us, we have got to accrue our merits. While we are still healthy and strong, we have to accrue our merits and not wait until the time of disaster. Then only we want to accrue merits. Okay. So do you know how difficult it is to be born as a human being? But since now that we have already obtained it, and most of all, on this Bodhisattva's path, we are able to follow Master Cheng Yen to walk on this path. We have got to count our blessing. So we must be courageous and diligent and not idling time away, so that love can fill our society. Then there will be a virtuous circle of goodness in the world. So this is what we always recite also from this the Tzu Chi resolution. So I'm sure we know that the Buddhist cosmology is intriguingly complicated and vast. According to the Buddhist understanding of the universe, it comprises of heavenly beings dwelling in different levels of heaven, sentient beings such as different human races, various types of beasts and insects from animal kingdoms, hungry ghosts on this very earth. In addition, our universe also comprises of other types of existence. For example, the hell realm, which perhaps sound horrific, but yet unfortunate to those who were born there. Actually, you can see, in so many countries, the impoverished countries. No matter whatever reason these realms are mentioned, it is beyond doubt that the Buddha regards human as the most important one among them. So you can see that actually we know from Buddhism that there are altogether 6 realms. And to be born as human being is really rare and is also very significant. So actually, in the Lotus Sutra, it mentioned about this. To be born as human being is so extraordinary. One of the examples can be found in this the sutra that Buddha once asked the monk, there was a blind turtle in an ocean as vast as the surface of the earth. And this blind turtle only swam at the surface of the ocean and extended his head above the surface of the ocean once in 100 years. What was the odd is that it happened to go through a hole on the rotten wood plank floating by. The odd was very minimal. So Buddha told Ananda, his attendant, that the ignorant beings who wandered in the 5 realms of existence, the chance of them to be born as human is so rare, just like the blind turtle who managed to lift up his head above the surface of the ocean and go through this the hole on the rotten wooden plank floating by. It is so rare. Okay, so from this simile, we have learned that it is actually very hard to be born as a human being, and our life also slipped by very quickly because we know that life is short and impermanent. We not only have to cherish this human body, but also take the opportunity to comprehend the Buddhist teaching, which is beneficial and true. Now, one ought to strive towards a better life. Actually, it seems that only as human beings, we are able to learn and practice spiritual cultivation. So since today we have such a good opportunity to be born as a human, and also we are so lucky to have the chance to meet and learn the Dharma together, It might not be wise to loiter around and to live a life without meaning, to idle away our lifetime. So we should not waste this good opportunity that we are born as human beings, and we have got to really fully utilize this lifetime. Okay, that's why Master Cheng Yen always advises us that we have to persevere at every moment, not here and now. Not persevere at every moment, here and now. Okay, so with simple mindset, we can persevere persistently. Okay, so I always admire, when I see these, the Black Pearls volunteers. Okay, you see, they are so diligent. They are able to listen, contemplate, and practice according to the Dharma, in spite of they have got to go through many tiers of translation. So that's why Master Cheng Yen always complimented, because they are determined to uphold such spirit to set role model locally. So they tactfully instill Master's teaching into everyone's heart. So you can see in South Africa, these Black Pearls Bodhisattva, they came with great vows instead of karmic retribution. They are committed to sow the seeds in their country. So actually they are the role model for us to follow too. You see how diligent they are, in spite of they have got to go through translation to understand Master Cheng Yen's teachings, and yet they are willing. And I was so deeply impressed that recently Master Cheng Yen said that they even have got to walk for hours to go to this their place of cultivation and to listen to this Dhamma talk, because they need translation to understand Master Cheng Yen's teachings. Unlike us, we can sit in the comfort of our home, and Master Cheng Yen will come to us to spread the teaching to us. So actually, we really have got to be diligent, just like them, if not more. Okay, when you see these pictures, I'm sure every one of us will feel very impressed of their diligence, and this is what we also need to learn. Okay, even like in Myanmar, you can see that this Udintun, although he cannot understand Mandarin, but actually he's really putting the Dharma into practice. Okay, that's why you can see that many times people often ask Master Cheng Yen, how do you call for so many people to happily engage in social service work without regards for money and time? How do you organize and manage them? You know what Master Cheng Yen replied? Master Cheng Yen said, there's no management, there's only activation. I activate their conscience, make them reveal their philanthropic nature, the spirit of great love that lives in everyone's heart. I'm sure we are able to come to Tzu Chi is because we are also motivated by Master Cheng Yen. If the Buddha Dharma can be spread throughout the world forever, though we cannot yet abide at the ground of stillness, because we are still beginners, but our wisdom can eliminate delusion and grasp the truth. All right. Ignorance arises as we interact with people. So the ability to eliminate delusion through such interaction is wisdom, because we know how to interact with people wisely. Even if we sentient beings have not yet attained the ground of selfness, we can at least learn to develop unwavering minds and grasp principle with our wisdom. Actually, this is how we grow our wisdom. And as often said, actually, most important is to sustain our wisdom life that will go from one lifetime to the other. So actually, in Tzu Chi, I think all of us, although we are still new beginners, but we are able